Hey guys, okay, here we've got one of those horrible jobs nobody ever wants to do, but we got a leaky toilet and we have to, let's throw some light on it, see where it's leaking. I mean, obvious things to check. Check your water levels not too high and it's doing something crazy like coming out of your handle. And that's not the case. That's not the case for this one. Check underneath here. Make sure there's no leaks on where your water goes into your tank. And there's no leaks there. There's no cracks underneath. But we do have water been coming out onto the floor here. That's what the toilet paper's soaking up. So what is happening is the seal is gone, the seal underneath here. So we're going to have to replace it. And let's just have a look at this side. Now the cap is missing off of this bolt. In fact, there's a sign there for you. That wasn't even retained in the ring, and that looks like it may have rusted through at the bottom of that bolt. So that wasn't even holding it. Let's see what's occurring this side. Take the cap off. Just use a spanner and see if you can undo the nut. And that nut is undoing fine, which is a bonus because that means we don't have to cut it off. Quite often these nuts will be rusted on, but we're lucky there it isn't. But if we look down there in the hole there, it's a big old mess. And in fact it looks like some of the wax seal there, you can just see it down there. See the wax seal. The wax seal may have been distorted with the other bolt. With the other bolt not holding the toilet down, it could make it rock, which deforms the wax seal and can give you the leak that's been coming out of here. So let's get the parts together and get cracking on this job. Sorry about the shaky camera work, but I'm in a real tight space as toilets tend to be, unless you live in a mansion. Anyway, I'll get the parts, back in a minute. We need to turn off our water supply and undo the nut. And I've got a little plastic ball here to catch anything that may come out. That's it. Very easy to do, that part. Okay, so that's got all the water out. Now all we have to do is lift the whole toilet bowl up off the floor and put it onto something soft, especially if you're working on tile surface like this, because this stuff cracks real easy. So here we go. Check it's loose. There we go. And there's the old seal. Okay, I've round the outside of the pipe here, it was all saturated inside and no support for screws or anything. So I've backfilled with concrete mix. I used a dry mix at the bottom so it would soak up some of the moisture. Obviously I got as much water out as I could using a little sponge and paper towels and things. So I've got the concrete mix in at the bottom, the dry mix, and I'm just topping off with this stuff here, concrete patching compound. Okay, so now I've put in the cement and filled in that goddamn awful stinky hole. Now I've got one of these. It's a push tight 4-inch gasketed closet flange by Sook Chief, whatever. Okay, so I've marked on the floor where the old flange was in my crude markings there. There's a mark there opposite the bolts, where the bolts were, and that's where the flange was that holds the bolts. So it worked before, so I'm going to line it up exactly the same. These things just push in apparently. So okay, so that's in. This tile was cut. Whoever cut it, it was cut ever so tight. Okay, now this flange should be 1/8 of an inch, and that's what I've got marked out there, above the tile. Well, it is at this side, but not this side. Yeah, it's kind of raised at the back there. Okay, to say it should be raised about 1/8 of an inch. That's it. That's that bit in, and we're just going to let the concrete and mix set, and then we're going to screw it down and just check that your bolts go in okay, which they do, and they're lining up nicely to where they were, so that's good. To make it easier to drill holes through the concrete later on, as this concrete is setting, I just cut the end off of a cotton bud and I just push it down, and it made a small hole, smaller than what the screw will be, and that'll just make it easier to drill out later. Maybe a bit overkill, but I'm just going to squirt some of this down in the drilled out holes. clean off any old wax and dirt off the bottom of the toilet, because this is where it's going to seal. Need it as clean as you can get it. Alright, just as a side note, I think it's a good idea whenever you're working on a toilet just to put something over the hole. It stops dirt falling in there, and also the gases that come out are not very healthy for you.